I think you ruined it.
No, you ruined it. You sold it as porn. Drunk
I think that's a
converted
better
her.
sale, isn't it?
Either
Just
way,
say
Kelly and I
there's
watch
a
shows together, and as soon as you sold it as that, she doesn't want to have anything to do with it. So,
censored version.
You sold it as the wrong type of porn. It's actually closer to gay porn. So you don't watch it at all, do you, Daddy?
nah,
Sounds like he's not allowed.
I can watch it if I want. I've watched like the first 5 or 6 episodes. I think it's season 1. What's, yeah, hold on. I did something on my screen and it screwed it up. So I'm just getting a couple of screens ready, and then we'll be good. I was writing the what you guys did last time, but in the end, like a lot of nothing really happened.
No, we
It
had
was
like
tantalizing and suspenseful, but not trying to summarize it. There wasn't much much there.
That wasn't our fault.
Everything you do is your fault.
We were in the forest. Nothing happened. We almost fell off a bridge. That was it. We took the safe way. Or maybe we scared everything off. They didn't want to fight with us.
Maybe.
I'll actually get the dice out and ready for once. Always forget till I need them.
Actually jumped into Borderlands 2 the other day and just jumped into the Tiny Tina.
I've been
Which is
dicking
like-
around in Borderlands 2. Been playing through the story again.
I played it heaps. I didn't need a replay. I was just sort of checking out the new textures, but pretty much the same. But Tiny Tina's like, oh, you know, playing bunkers and badasses. Roll for initiative. And Brick is like, I punched the initiative.
Alright. So, previously, you guys did nothing. No, actually, over a couple of days, so you were travelling up towards the tower to try and get a little bit more information on the rocks that you guys had found at the house up on the hill. And so you were continuing your journey up the mountain, and it took you a couple of days. You guys were pretty stealthy, were very much alert on what was happening around you. And you continued up. So you camped in a cave and out in the outside area. One, you heard quite a few sounds and you tried to investigate them, but you didn't really find anything. And just sat back on the defensive, and nothing of event happened. So you approached the tower as a group, and you found that it's actually separated from the rest of the land by a small crevasse, or a decent sized crevasse, of about a 40-50 foot drop, and a jagged rock bed at the bottom. And the way that was obvious to get across was this rope bridge, which you guys one by one went across. And I can't actually remember who was it that almost fell.
Me.
One. So one, you almost fell, but managed to keep your footing in the end, and you all got across there. You're now at the base of the tower. You have a strong smell of smoke in the air, and oh yeah, what do you do?
Just to recall, was last session the one where we had the eagle?
That was the one before.
The rock?
The one before.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Man, we really did nothing that session.
It was a massive forest.
Because I swear it was last session and the one before that was the ogres. But...
Yeah.
You could be right. I thought you had the ogres and the rock in the same session.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they were. They were not the last session, but the one before that.
Okay. Alright. I punched the tower. No, I don't.
You take one down.
The tower punches you back.
So, redescribing the Wizard Tower again. It is large. It's a cylinder in shape, and it has windows and awnings sort of just popping out seemingly at random. Like, doesn't really make too much sense to their placement. In front of you is a very large double door made of wood, which is it's sunken deep into the stone wall around the outside. There's a couple of metal door knockers on either side of the door in the center.
Okay. What are we here to get out of this tower again?
We're
So,
investigating.
Are we investigating the orbs, like the crystals, and or do we think Rothos?
I think Belinda said something about we should go there to investigate for some reason. Can't remember the specifics though.
So Rebecca had suggested that you go up and speak to him. Speak to the owner of this tower in regards to the crystals that you had found, and these are the ones that Doderick had found in the crate. There was a smashed one which was sort of in a very lot of white chunks, which he collected a few of them of, and then there was some other large crystals which you identified as Zimborolite crystals, which are used in enchanting. You believe that those crystals were being used by a person who was conducting sort of scientific spells and practicing odd magic at the house. So you're heading up to the tower to ask the wizard of this tower if he knew anything of them.
And he promptly threw those crystals, right? Or have we still got some that are intact?
I don't think you actually collected any of the crystals. You collected the shards that were glowing. I don't recall you actually pocketing them. I believe you left them in the crate.
Well, someone grabbed them.
Yeah, I swear Dodrick did. Because he wanted to throw some.
So Dodrick got little chunks of like an exploded crystal or a fragmented crystal. And he found several of those chunks. One which he threw up against the wall at the house, and the other 3 he threw when he was trying to burn down Brotor's old family home when he was escaping.
Wasn't there something where we got it and you guys made a joke as in like, oh, don't give it to Dodrick, like he's just going to throw it, so I never got it? But was that a crystal?
I thought that was literally everything we've received since then.
I thought it was the wizard orb that we just got now.
Oh, probably.
Or everything. Okay. How about we knock on the door at the same time Dodrick climbs up the side of the mountain, the tower, to go through one of the awnings.
The door's open. We already knocked last time, didn't we?
Yes. Sorry, you're correct, Dodrick. You had knocked. You had pushed the doors open, and that's where we did end it.
Can Chug use divine sense?
What do you want to use?
Divine sense. I want to detect if there's a good or an evil feeling about.
And what's the radius of that?
60 feet.
Okay. There's no roll or anything, that's just something that happens?
Not really. As an action, you detect good or evil until the end of your next turn. You can sense anything affected by a hallow spell or a known location or celestial fiend, undead, within 60 feet. That is not behind total cover. You can use this feature 3 times per long rest.
So it's not behind total cover. So you'd have to step into the tower. Otherwise, the arc of your spell is going to be blocked by the walls at the front.
I shall step in.
Okay. So as you step into the wizard tower, you immediately see a large rug with a large table and several chairs, almost like a dining table set up. At the back of this table, there's a larger chair, cushions and backrests and such. The other 4 are just standard wooden ones all around this table. To the left, you've got quite a long, solid wall, the door probably about 60, 70 feet away from you. And to the right, you also have a very solid but slightly curving stone wall around to the side, and it leads into an opening that you can't see. At the back, you can see more rooms and doors, and there's several paintings and coat of arms and several things just decorating around the edges of the wall. You cast your spell, but you don't feel anything.
So it's neutral?
So a neutral. You don't feel... So detecting good and evil. So
yes.
Other than yourselves, which I assume all of you are good to some degree, you don't feel any other sense of being.
Okay.
There's one rug.
There is one incredibly large rug.
And it's covered by tables and chairs?
You have tables and chairs above it. The rug would be, you would guesstimate around 30, 40 foot long.
Have you made a battle map for this floor of the tower?
Hey?
Have you made a battle map for this floor of the tower?
I have several battle maps.
I want to use an Arcana check on the rug. I'm still wearing rugs.
Can we just... The whole place is smoking. Can we just throw fire at the rug?
Not yet.
Yes. One's horrifically scared of rugs now. It's canon. He encourages our pyromantic little fucking rogue to go and burn that fucking thing down.
Let me see. What have I got that's flammable? I need a flame spell.
Have you got something? I can light it on fire.
I have control flames, so if you've got like a torch, that's all we need, and then I can control flames.
I've probably got a torch.
Chug can't detect any evil. Maybe someone should detect magic.
Well, that's right.
I was sorry. I'm not sure if you saw my rules check on Arcana and such. So, I believe. Sorry, you guys with speakers are like butchering my ears when you talk. Arcana is a way for you to measure your knowledge on, like, say, physical things that you can see, like runes and magical glyphs, or maybe a spell that you can see that's happening, maybe an illusion or something like that. It is not a means to detect magic, which is a way that we've sort of done it at the start. There's spells for detect magic and such like that, which is a guaranteed, definite sort of thing. For Arcana is that if there is a physical, like if you can see the runes and such like that, you can use your Arcana knowledge to say, yes, this is a spell, because you've got physical evidence in front of you. Or if you're looking at a magical trap or a ward, you'll be able to say that yes, there is a spell that has cast this because of the physical evidence. You can't just walk up to with your hand on the wall and say, do I feel a magical sense? Now that's going to sort of change a little bit, but you wouldn't have to do an Arcana check. That would be more a investigation check if there was a spell effect which was radiating a non-natural energy, then that would be described as that to you at that time.
Okay. Are there any runes on this rug?
I'll get you to roll investigation. Now, are you standing back or are you going up and having a look at it?
I'm keeping a solid, 5 feet away from.
5 feet? Yeah, right. Roll investigation.
I got a solid 4.
Solid
Oh wait,
4.
no, sorry, 6.
6. You have a look around it, but it just like a red rug with some gold embroidery and some tassels on the end.
Okay. Using, I guess we got some matches somewhere. I set a corner of it on fire, and then use control flames to maintain it into that corner.
Okay. The rug burns and singes away.
Alright, then using gust, I snuff out that flame. I think we're safe on this rug.
Could be a brave rug. I don't trust it.
Either way, it's damaged.
You smell anything cooking? Anything else besides the smoke?
No, it's mostly just just a faint, it's probably moderate sort of smoke in the air. It's not suffocating. It's not making you choke. It's sort of like when you blow the candles out on a birthday cake, where you just got that strong smell of smoke. But it's fine. It doesn't doesn't cause you any breathing troubles or anything.
So we knocked, right, and we couldn't find anyone. So would we be correct in saying, like, does it look like he's been attacked and he's not here? Or from what I can tell, does it look like, yeah, he's probably still chilling out in his wizard tower? He just wasn't at the door.
I'll get you to roll investigation.
10.
10. The chairs at the table are sort of, they're not pushed in as if they weren't being used. They're sort of spread out a little bit, as if they've been sat at and you've pushed them out when you've stood up from the table, but you haven't then set it back in. Looking around from what you can see at the moment, though, there's definitely no signs of a struggle or anything like that. The place does look like it's lit or lived in. There's a couple of braziers, torch lights on the wall, and they're burning with a very... they're burning brighter than what you would expect for a flame of that size in the little torchlight on the walls. But aside from that, yeah, the place looks as if just nobody's home, or as somebody has just left recently.
Would I say those torches are the source of this burning smell we can smell? Or something bigger?
Get you to roll investigation for that one.
18.
18. You go up and have a closer inspection of the torches there. Smelling to see if the smell gets stronger as you get close to them. However, it's still the same around from where you were 20, 30 feet away. It doesn't feel to be more intense where you are. And getting closer, you actually see that the colors of these torches and such are incredibly vibrant and are burning very, very brightly and very, what's the word, like furiously, sort of. Like it's a very quickly animated flame. And having a look at the base of the torch, there isn't a lot of fuel. So you come to the conclusion that these are magical torches that are burning, or at least there's a magical enchantment that's causing the flame on the torch.
We've got ourselves a sorcerer here.
Or a wizard.
Sorcerer. Because he's using control flames on the torches.
He's just making the place more homely. You said there was like a corridor that ran up somewhere, right? But you couldn't really see where.
Yeah, so on the right hand side there's a stone wall and it just sort of runs and finishes. There's no door or anything like that, and it sort of opens. You'd have to walk up to that to have a peer to the right and see what's behind it.
I'm gonna look down there.
Okay. So you head down there. You peer to the right, and you can see a staircase leading up in a circular motion, just heading up towards the right behind the wall. On the left,
I
you
want to
can
look for traps.
roll investigation.
Look for rugs.
Wall rugs.
9.
9. Everything looks okay and looks pretty in place on the stairs. I was trying to say before, however, there's also a statue, a stone statue with a metal shield and a metal sword in the corner on the left. So it was sort of hidden behind the wall, but it's up against the rear wall of the tower.
Does the short sword look like it could be detached?
The sword, it's got a firm grip, the stone statue, over the sword, but it looks like you could break it off.
Chug would like to inspect the statue.
Alright, roll investigation.
13.
13. So, on the statue, it is, a stone statue. There's like a knight's helmet, which is stone, all carved into the statue, and it's a soldier sort of standing there. On his right arm, you can see sort of a triangular sort of shield. It's a slight curve on it, and it has two separate colours of the metal in the 4 places. So it's almost like a checkered pattern over the centre of the shield. In the left hand, there is a long sword, which looks made okay. Not sure where it's sort of come from, but it looks like a sturdy sort of long sword. And the stone statue is gripping it rather tightly.
Is he standing on a base or anything like that?
Yes, there's a round base at the bottom.
And is there anything written on the base?
There is a plaque down the bottom. It's a sort of a metal plaque. What's your languages?
Common and Orc.
Orc. You look at it, there's a whole heap of shapes and stuff, but it makes no sense to you.
Chug can't read.
Alright. I'll come have a look as well.
Yeah, I'll tag along.
I know Celestial, Common, Elvish, and Infernal.
Add Draconic to that. Alright.
Sorry, I'm just quite thinking.
I know halfling.
Hey, halfling.
Yeah.
And so you all sort of look at this, but you are unable to, as a group, sort of make it together of what it sort of says.
Without knowing what it says, would I be able to tell what language it is? Like, would I be able to identify, say, hey, that looks kind of weirdish?
Or
Like,
does it look familiar to the enchanting tomes and scrolls that we saw in the other house?
Yes. Can I get you both to either roll an intelligence check or one with advantage if you're assisting the other?
Do it with the advantage.
So intelligence.
Time pass. I will assist you.
17. I got a 3 and a 15. So 17.
17. It is. So you look at it and you believe it's some form of gnomish.
Fucking gnomes. The rogue's like almost there. He counts, right?
But the question of whether it was familiar to the or similar to the the books that we stole from Broadhorse House.
No, this would be the first time you would have encountered this recently.
Okay.
There are no runes or symbols on his armor?
Not that you saw. No.
I'm going to run up the staircase.
Okay.
While he's doing that, or maybe before, I'd like to write down what it is, like kind of draw what I see as the symbols, so I can get it translated later.
Sure. So you pull out some parchment and you start to scribble it down. It takes you probably about 10 minutes or so to get a good detail. It's not a language that you write, so you've been very careful in trying to transcribe it down. Now, is there a check for that? If there is, no, I'll just say that you transcribe it down and you do a fairly good job. I'll see if there's a check for the next game. We'll come back to that one.
There's like perception, maybe performance, if I can perform artistically. I don't know.
While I was doing that, Chug would like to sort of shake the statue, see if it's loose. If it moves.
I'll get you to make a strength check, please.
11.
11? You grab the statue and you can just like very slightly sort of move it backwards and forwards. It's incredibly heavy. If you wanted to, you could give it a good push. You could tip it over, but it shakes and it's just a solid piece, and you just feel the whole thing thudding and moving as one piece. The sword and shield very, very lightly. They don't have a lot of give, but you can hear them slightly shifting in the statue's grasp.
All right. Do we want to yell out, see if anyone answers?
Chug like that idea.
Oh, Dodrick just started running up the hill, so not hill. What the fuck is it? It's a
stairs.
All right. I follow Dodrick. Not as fast. He's a quick little guy.
Yeah, as soon as I'm done, I'd like to start kind of following behind.
Okay. Sorry, can I just get each of your passive perceptions? Just so I can just write that down.
Huge. Sorry, 12.
13.
10.
So is passive perception, I can see under senses it says passive wisdom and then in brackets perception. Is that
Yep, that's what I write there.
Oh,
13.
sorry.
What about investigation and insight? Because mine are like so much better up there.
Mine's 11, not 10.
So that's your sort of without doing anything. That's your general sort of stat. When you're attempting to do something, I'll get you to make a specific roll. I haven't come into an example where I can explain where you're in passive investigation and passive such and such sort of work. But it would be more along the lines of if I have revealed information to you in the past and then you've been given new information, I might be able to say, Chug, you've put this together and you now know that these two things link together. That would be the investigation, making use of clues. Passive perception is just simply what you notice when you're moving around. When you're moving quickly, there's a penalty to it. When you're moving slowly, it stays the same. You don't get a bonus. But if you're trying to see something, you then roll to see how well you perform. But I'm going to say Juan and Dodrick, as you're sort of climbing up the stairs, you see a rat just sort of scurry down on the outside, and it's heading downwards.
I throw a dagger at it.
Get you to make an attack roll.
I got a 1, but I'm lucky. 21 to hit.
21. You hit it. Roll damage.
7 damage.
7. So you send this dagger flying, and it hits the rat, and he sort of screams and shudders. But it's still alive, and it's sort of sitting there in a sec.
I'm going to take my sneak attack extra die. Cool.
Hey, the attack's done. If you want to do it, you can do another one.
Is it pinned?
It's not pinned. It's just sort of sitting out the side of it.
How fucking
No,
big is
I've
this
lost
rat?
interest in it. Moving on.
Lost interest.
I, on the other hand, noticed that a rat just took a fucking dagger, so I'm intrigued. I cast. What should I fucking do? No, just try and ping it with my fucking crossbow.
Ping it. So as you raise your crossbow, the rat disappears.
The
With
rat
the dagger.
disappeared.
With the
Do
dagger.
you mean like puff of smoke goes, "Whoo,"
No, just
or it
it just flatly vanishes.
fucking dead, guys? That's it.
It's an illusion. Or that's actually the dude, and we got injured.
From our knowledge of the dude, do we know if he's like a druid or is he an actual wizard?
You've heard that he's practices in arcane.
Alright,
So more wizardy, but you didn't ask, so you sort of don't know. You're expecting arcane.
No, he does
coming to you.
portals.
To me, it sounds like an illusion. An arcanist would make an illusion.
I'll get you to roll an intelligence check, James.
Okay.
Because you would know this.
Well, don't make me do it. 8.
8. And that's with your bonus.
Well, my intelligence is +2. I rolled a 6.
Actually, add your arcana. We'll do arcana in this case, because
10.
we're doing spells. You noticed that the dagger stuck out of the rat, and an illusion, the dagger would pass through.
Oh.
Maybe he blinked. So he could be like because there's a wizard spell or a sorcerer spell. I don't know, and they can literally again like blink in WoW, but it takes them around to appear wherever they want to go. Shit.
Is there anybody back down the stairs, or all 4 of you together at the moment on the stairs?
I don't
I
know.
was
It depends.
following them. I didn't say it.
Yeah. So Chug, you're the one chasing him from behind.
Yeah.
As you guys are sort of figuring this out, if you've obviously taken a few moments, I'll get you to make a perception check, please, Chug.
Oh, it's perception. 4.
4? No. Everything as it is. You just hear everyone else sort of bickering and sort of thinking out loud.
Let's continue up the stairs.
Yeah. Alright, stairs.
Chuck
Alright.
says, "More stairs." No.
After a brief climb, you probably feel that you've climbed 30 feet or so. You arrive to another room. This room is very large and open plan, and in fact you can see the entire tower sort of shaped in this particular room. You've got bookcases lining the edges of the walls, all filled with books and parchment and scribblings and such. In the center, you have 2 large bookcases as well, front and back. Sorry, on the left and right, these are. And the very center, there's a single chair and a wooden table on another rug with a chandelier. So a candelabra sort of popping out with a couple of candles which are lit.
I am once again excessively nervous.
Has there been any evidence of a person being there recently, like say a coffee mug that's still warm or a pipe that's still smoking?
I'll get you to roll investigation, please.
Any dirty footprints?
Now, are you looking in from afar, or are you actually walking into the room here?
Well, we've entered the room. How big is the room?
It's basically the width of the entire tower.
which would be
Your best judgment would be 80 feet, 100 feet or so.
so wall to wall would be 100 feet. Because I'm guessing it's circular.
Yes.
Well, then I walk in about 20 feet to make the most use of my dark vision in case there's any dark areas, and I rolled a 22 for
22.
investigation.
Now, walking into this room, there is a chill in the air. Everything is cold. Even though there's 4 torches lit up in this room, same torches as below, on the very edges of the walls, effectively top and bottom, left and right. The candelabra has 3 candles lit in it as well, and the room is very well lit for its space and for the light provided. On the table, you can see a single book which has been opened, and it is still open there on its current page. Aside from looking for consumables or signs that somebody left an open drink, there's no drinks or anything or food left open. The only evidence that somebody has recently been there is the lit candles and the open book.
Were there any windows up along the stairs or in this room?
No.
Is there any evidence to suggest that the windows that we have seen match the windows on the outside? Because you did say they were obscurely placed.
I guess you roll investigation again.
Damn. 19.
19. You have not seen a window yet. And it's very odd because of the windows on the outside. You would have expected to have at least seen a couple of them.
Knew we should have had Dodger climb up through a window.
Chog not like the cold.
Are we in a dream?
Were there any doors in this room?
No, it's just a single room that fills the entire width of the tower.
Anything of note on the page?
Sorry. The one final detail I have forgotten, the stairs continue up again. So they come up to a landing and they continue up.
I pinch one. See if he wakes up.
One that hurt.
How much hit points?
It was a playful pinch. Okay, well, being wary, I cautiously approach the book to try and see what's on that's open to.
Okay.
Without touching anything.
Sure. You do your best. You go up and you have a look at the book, and it's written in it's written in common, and on the pages that are open are detailed to magic and enchantments, and basically storing magic into things.
Okay.
Is there anything around the room that looks useful, or any wizard loot? Essentially, we know it's a wizard tower. You'd have trinkets lying around, I hope.
So you're looking for like rings and necklaces and all
Just
that sort of stuff.
generally anything that looks like it's not just a part of the room, if that makes sense. So, like, something lying around, just anything of that kind of.
I guess you'll roll investigation.
I'd be wary of stealing things at this point.
Coming from the road.
Oh,
Yeah, coming from
What, you haven't burnt the place down? That's mostly what I'm checking for. What
Listen to
happened
the
when you
road.
tried to burn?
Chog,
Oh,
I think you can carry all that book.
Investigation. It's not bad. 14.
14. You have a look through the bookshelves and such like that. You see a couple of large spiders sort of crawling out and moving around.
One of Juan's important things, he's horrified of spiders, so he freaks the fuck out.
Okay. You've seen a spider and it's like, huge. It's just crawled up and gone up and sat now on top of the bookshelf out of sight. So the bookshelves, they don't quite reach the roof. The ceiling is about 30 feet tall. The bookshelves, maybe about 15 feet or so. There's a couple of small steps which would be used to reach the higher shelves, but they'd only come up about half the ceiling height. So halfway through your investigation, you find a giant spider and you freak out. Like, it's shutting you and you just lock eyes with it.
Yeah, I pretty much. Oh, should I try and kill it? Nah. I asked one of the other guys to come and murderize it. I'm not having to fire that, and I go investigate somewhere else.
All right.
Jug ignores him and looks at the bookcases in the middle of the room.
I'll get you to roll investigation too, Chuck.
20.
20. So one and Chug, so you go through and you find several books. There seems to be a large section on portals and creating a. I'm going to use the wrong word here, but sorry, it is the right one. Teleportation circle. So there's books on how to do that and the study of that. There's books on various minerals and crystals and imbuing them with magic and metals and such as well. There's various arcane books. In particular, Chug, you find a particular book which details invisibility. One, you find a book which sort of details a lot on some of the cantrips that you've used, like prestidigitation and how that sort of works. And you also find a book which goes into in depth into the illusionary magic, in particular the illusion spell. Yeah.
From what I've gleaned, obviously I'll try and read the illusion one. Can I see from what I know out of that spell anything that's going on around us? Do I realize, like, are we in an illusion? Can I find any way of discerning that? Knowing that I also know a minor illusion spell, so I have an idea of how it works.
Roll Arcana.
Oh, I only get a +1 for that. 14 again.
14.
Nice.
No, from everything you're seeing at the moment, aside from the rat beforehand, everything seems very real, very solid. Your illusionary magic, you know that in those cases they, it's not solid, so you can put your hand through. Some illusionary magics can be solid, but they don't sort of feel right. They give off the wrong sound, but everything you've been touching is true to touch. You touch wood, you get the sound and the texture and the feeling that comes with wood. Same with the books and the rug and all of that.
Do it with the flame. Touch the flame.
No, that's your domain.
The teleportation circle book makes me a bit uneasy because we've already detected magic in the building where, was it like that mayor's son was taken? And it deemed that there was traces of teleportation circle in the room.
He could be invisible too.
So I'm a bit more on edge after hearing that. Anyway,
He could have been the murderer.
could have.
Or he could be like.
I'm going to grab the book, which was about imbuing magic into minerals and such. I'm just going to pocket it, and then I'm going to move it back up.
It being a library, there's more than one book. In fact, there's dozens of books. They're all
Oh,
detailed.
stuff it. I just run up the stairs.
Get the one that says imbuing magical rocks for dummies.
Right.
If there's one like that, I grab it.
There's 3 or 4 books which detail the magical properties of various minerals and crystals. So you pocket those.
Are there any that do languages? Because now that I've seen Gnomish and I know I've got some script, I'd like to learn it. Do I see anything that could help me, like a translating book?
You may, but you've briefly gone through a few of the books here. But given the immense size of this particular library, it's going to take you probably a good while to search through it and find something of that.
We can move you behind if you want.
Oh, there's spiders. One doesn't want to be here alone.
Oh, okay. Let's go then.
Let's find the owner and ask him if he's got a book. Or
Yeah, then you can walk straight up to him and say, "Is this an illusion?"
Chug goes up to the stairs and then just sort of yells, "Hello!"
Yeah, the yelling. I like the yelling.
You just scream out, "Hello!"
Yes.
I get you to make a perception check, please.
7.
7. You don't hear anything back. Are you going up the stairs? Is that correct?
I was at the opening.
At the opening.
I am.
So you going up the stairs?
Did
Alright.
my voice echo?
Yeah, there's a slight echo as it bounces around the walls. But Dodric, as you're climbing the stairs, it's getting colder.
Great. I love the cold. Keep going.
Like it's not just like it feels cold. Like it's chilling. It like goes straight through you.
Does it feel similar to my spell Chill Touch, the aura that gives up?
What's the aura that gives?
Well, it's not really an aura, but it's it does necrotic damage.
Yeah.
So it would be a cold, frigid air around the area that would do necrotic
Yeah,
damage.
it's cold. But as you're sort of moving up, Dodric, your sense of how do I word this in a way, like you're no longer sort of smiling. You're sort of cautious, a little bit anxious. Like these feelings are sort of coming into you as you sort of move up the stairs.
I keep moving.
Okay.
Chug board with books. Chug
Yeah.
follow Dodric.
I follow.
So
I might have a nervous breakdown walking up here, but I'm going to keep.
now, if Dodric has any quite sort of sad memories or traumatic memories, those are coming back to him at the moment.
I keel over and tears well into my eyes, and I just start bawling.
I wouldn't say it's not strong, but you're focusing on those. At the moment.
Doesn't take much, all right, mate?
Okay.
I wait for the other.
Yeah, would we notice that this is happening to us, or would it just be happening?
You as the players, no, not immediately. You wouldn't notice this, and you would all be experiencing this within yourselves at the moment. Like aside from Dodric's visible breakdown of tears, and that would be the first clue to everyone that what you're feeling is perhaps in line to what Dodric is sort of feeling at the moment. But at the moment, it's only Dodric who's gone up the stairs. Everyone else is sort of waiting down the bottom.
All right. I guess I noticed that. I don't know. I start singing a sad song because that's what bards do.
Okay.
Can you sing it for us?
Go on behind blue eyes.
Nah, I've heard him sing Queen. You don't want him to sing.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I don't know what else. But yeah, just start, just humming a tune, I guess, and then I start following. Because why not?
Yeah, follow up the stairs.
Okay. So each of you, as you follow up the stairs, you start to get these feelings. You're remembering traumatic times and sadness and despair in your life. You remember the times that you were left alone for incredible periods, or when close friends had betrayed you, and that sense of loneliness that came with that. The air is again becoming colder and colder. As you all approach and get to the next level of this tower, again, the next room fills the entire room of the wizard tower. The stairs again continue on upwards, and there's several long tables and chairs just sort of sprawled out into the center of this room. About 4 or 5 chairs on either side of these long tables. Twin candelabras sit on both of the at either end of these tables. There's a couple of rugs at the very left and the very, very right of the tower, with again more cabinets and such with a single candelabra so sitting on top of those. And at the very, very far side you see cabinets as well. There's a couple of pot plants sprawn out, and at the far right you can actually see a small opening which is going to another very small sort of spirally staircase at the back.
Is there any rugs?
There's 2 rugs, left and right.
I set them both on fire.
Oh, there's also several drapes. that
Or drapes? No,
fall down as well.
they're pre-hanging murder machines.
So are there
Are
two
there any
staircases
rats?
in this room?
Hey,
Were there two staircases in this room?
there is, yeah, there's a big one that sort of leads upwards, and at the very far end there is another staircase which you can see, and it's sort of spiraling up. Like, it's smaller. The big ones that you've been walking at the moment have been very, large steps, very gradual. You can immediately tell, looking in the far distance, that this is a smaller, more windy, just straight up sort of staircase.
Are there any rats or any other critters around? Like,
Get you to make perception.
8.
8. You have a quick look around, but this room is not lit as well as the room before it, and you can't really see any rats or any other critters.
So it's a darker room.
It is darker, yeah. The only
Okay.
lights that are coming from several candelabras sort of scattered around on tables and benches around the room.
I tap one and cast light.
Okay. 1, you are now glowing yellow.
He is irradiating light.
Incredibly bright to look at.
Now do we see critters?
I'll get you to make a perception check. Left.
14.
14. You see at the top of a drape, one of the drapes, there's a raven, actually. And as it sees you and the bright light sort of appears, it sort of flies off out of sight behind the wall on the right.
Okay. I yell out, you can come out now. We know you're doing this.
No response.
No response.
Joke
I-
says, "Come back, Birdie."
I cast light again to remove the glowing light so one can actually see.
All 4 of you hear the fluttering of wings above you.
Plural?
No, just one. One set of wings.
Choke stares straight up.
You don't see anything.
Is there any torches or anything like that?
Not where you guys are at the base of the stairs. In terms of torches on the walls, not in this room.
So there's nothing lit at the moment.
The candelabras are lit.
The candelabras? Okay.
But there's
I'll
not a
cast
torch.
I'll cast control flames.
Yep.
Just to double or halve the area of bright light and dim light cast by a flame. So I just want to double them. I just want to make them brighter.
Yep. Can you target that on multiple sources?
If you cast this spell multiple times, you can have up to 3 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time.
So each candelabra has 3 candles on it. So you target the closest candelabra and make all 3 candles glow twice the brightness.
No, I'll target 1 candle on each candelabra to make it glow twice as bright.
Yep, so the room is now radiating about the same amount of light as what was down in the previous room, which is actually fairly well lit.
Has this added anything of interest that we couldn't otherwise see clearly before?
Get your roll perception. With advantage, because everybody else is sort of looking as well.
21.
21. Nothing else of interest. Everything is actually well lit now, and you can clearly see 2 long tables in the center of the room, which actually, they don't go from front to back, they go from left to right. There is 4 single chairs placed at either side of these 2 tables. There's 2 rugs to the left and right of those, and then there's some dresses or chest of drawers or whatnot on the very, very left and the very, very right up against the walls with candelabras. And also at the very back, like from where you guys are, the very opposite side of the room, there's another set of these as well. There's 2 red drapes hanging on the left-hand side, and there is a sort of a bluish purplish drape hanging on either side up against the walls where the stairs that you've been climbing is on the opposite side.
Okay, and no sign of a raven or a crow or bird.
No. In fact, you look and you have not seen it at all.
Okay.
Chug is curious at the other stairs and slowly start walking to the room.
You walk into the room. So you head across there. But as you're walking, it's getting colder and colder, almost to the point where it feels freezing. And even you walk up to one of the candles and you put your hand and expect to feel heat, and you don't feel any. It's freezing cold. However, sorry, I get your roll investigation actually as well before I say this.
4.
4. Yeah, we'll continue on.
I'm not attacked by anything.
Nope.
I stomp my feet a little bit to see what comes loose.
Bang, bang with your foot, sort of standing. A bit of grit sort of moves underneath the floor, on the floor, but nothing sort of moves. The tower seems to be incredibly solid, it being made of stone.
Oh, here you go.
I continue walking to the lighter stairs.
Okay. Can I get you to make a charisma saving throw, please?
19?
19. Okay. So you continue walking. You go to the other side of the stairs. Yep.
Yes.
And you have a look at those, and you can see that they both go up and down.
And I'm clearly freezing, am I?
Yes.
Do I sense heat one way or the other?
No, only cold.
And I don't see anything either way?
At the stairs?
Yeah.
I'll get you to make another perception check.
10.
10? No, you don't.
How long have we been going? Like, is it lunchtime-ish or?
You'd be getting towards the evening because you've had your day's travel. You've spent a fair bit of time looking in the library and sort of scuttling around. So you'd probably be heading more towards the 6, 7 p.m. sort of things. Nightfall begin to be setting.
Cool. I'd like to see if the guys want to stop at this nice table and have a quick feed. And set up, but quite obviously, well, not obviously to anyone, but I want to just subtly be keeping an eye out for the weird bat things while I set up. Make it look like I'm not paying attention, just in case something wants to like surprise attack me. But yeah, if you guys are all in for my super secret plan that Dottie doesn't know.
I'm in.
I've got to do the, oh no, I've been bamboozled.
Chug sort of jumps from one foot to the other, trying to keep warm.
I'd like to put my fine blue robe on over the top, just to add a bit of warmth.
Yep. Alright, so are you making a cooking fire or anything like that, or are you just sort of eating your dried rations? There's not really a space for a cooking fire, aside from you just making your own on the stone floor.
With the plates and stuff on the table, like you said, there were 4 seats.
Yeah, no, there's no plates or anything on the table. They're very much bare, aside from the candelabras.
There doesn't look to be anywhere nearby that did like a cupboard that would have plates or anything in it. Like any cupboard.
Roll investigation.
15.
15. You go and have a look in a few of the cupboards, and you do find a couple of very big stacks of plates, both big and little plates. And you also find a whole heap of metallic or metal goblets and such, which would be used to cater for a large group who would be seated in this room.
Cool. I'd like to grab all that out. Oh, what's needed for us, and start serving up. I don't know, some of our rations. Obviously, it's not cooked, but yeah.
Okay.
Jogar, did you find wine?
Now, we'll sort of stay as well, just before we get to the wine part. All three of you guys, all four of you, now that you've all entered this room as well, you're all feeling the effects that Chug has felt as well. It's freezing cold. Wine. Now, in your search in one of the other caskets, yes, you found a couple of caskets of wine sort of tucked into one of the cupboards.
How many?
Probably, 3 or 4, like, wooden barrels, decent size, pretty heavy. They've got the little metallic funnel sort of plugged into it, ready to go.
Would you say that we'd have some like herbs and stuff for cooking in our normal ration packs?
Yes.
All right. I would like to make some mulled wine out of the wine and use prestidigitation to warm up the wine to give us some warm wine to drink. Just a cup each. We don't want to get, wasted.
Okay. So you'll divvy up your rations, start to eat. As you do, Juan, can you make a charisma saving throw, please? Charisma check. Saving throw? Hold on.
Depends on when we're about to die. Either way, same. Have I really got +6 to charisma? Oh, saving. Yeah, it depends.
throw.
So if
Saving
it's a check, I get a +4. Saving throw, I get a +3.
Yep.
And then
So I got a 9, so 15.
Yep. So as you start to drink your wine, it's cold.
I cast prestidigitation again, and I put my all into it. I'm like, motherfucker, this spell, I'm real good at it, and I make it really warm.
It's a weak spell, man.
And it's still cold. And you know that this should be warm at this point.
I turn to Dodric and I make him shoot himself. I'm fearful that my
That's
spell.
so cool, man.
No, I've got a skill at this.
Is that warm?
It just like previously, the effect happens to Dodric again, but so you know that the stuff that you're doing is working.
Chug drinks a second glass of wine.
It's cold.
But
Chug
there's
is
no wine at all.
How can we add heat when it's cold? So I know that something's stopping the magic. Can I sense what magic is interfering with my magic? Am I able to tell what? Obviously, something's either convincing me that it's cold, or something's actually making it cold. So am I able to tell the difference?
I'm not sure which is the exact check to use. So I'll just get you to make a straight intelligence check. Here.
I'm fucking stupid though.
There's magic here.
6?
It's making shit cold.
The answer is no, you will not be able to tell.
I try and explain this to fuck, I don't even know his name in the game. Lefner, that my magic isn't working to do this, and then I demonstrate it by cleaning up this shit coming out of Dodric's pants. That it works there, and then I show him that it's not heating up the mud, and see if he has any insight.
Genius. You can't warm stuff in this freezing cold.
No, but obviously it works. But I don't know if it's my character that can't sense the warm, like it's my mind that's making me, like it's an illusion. Because I don't think it's an illusion because of what happened earlier, but I think it might be in our heads that it's happening.
Okay, well, way to test it is light a torch.
Is there anything around that we can light, Darty?
Dodric's got torches in his bag.
Yeah, you got torches in his bags. There's the candelabras which are lit.
So we're still in the room with
Chug
the...
stands very close to Dodric while he lights his torch.
Is there Well, what else is in this room?
What else is in the room?
Yeah.
It's
Is there an
described
exit?
what I've described. So there's 2 entrances and exits to this room. There's 2 long wooden tables with 8 chairs, 4 on either side of both of these tables. And there's 3 sets of cabinets on the as you walked in, the left, right, and the far side. The sets of cabinets. Each of the tables and cabinets have candelabras on it. There's a couple of potted plants near the far staircase, and there is a couple of drapes hanging on the wall on the left, and there's 2 drapes hanging on the wall at either side as you came in. So if you come in, turn around on the left, turn around on the right, there's drapes there.
Have we looked behind the drape?
You haven't yet.
I want to look behind each of the drapes.
Okay. You go and check behind the drapes, and you move them. They're quite large, very, very big. And as you go to move them, they're, for someone of your size, they're very heavy. But you do pull them across, and they just seem to be decoration. They're not hiding any secret passages or anything like that behind it.
Do we still smell the smoke in the air?
Yes, you do.
Have we seen any fireplaces?
Hey?
So, sorry, go on.
Oh, that's okay. No, you go. No, you haven't seen any fireplaces yet.
So no fireplaces, but we still smell the smoke. Has it gotten stronger, weaker?
It's a little bit stronger as you're climbing towards the top of the tower.
Okay. And now that there's 2 entrances, which one would we ascertain would be the stronger of the smelling in terms of smoke?
Indifferent.
Alright. Oh. I got no idea, but for the sake of lore, I'm going to say this guy's testing us.
Let's just try one of the other doors.
Do we want to continue the staircase we've been already going up, or we want to go to the far side to the smaller staircase?
We said 2 entrances and exits. How do these relate to the staircase? Is the staircase an entrance?
Yeah, effectively, yeah. So as the staircase sort of comes up on its sort of circular path, it comes up to a flat landing, and then you can move into the room that you're in. Doorway, stone walls on either side, but the staircase continues to go up. At the far side on the right, on the right, there's another circular staircase which slowly spirals up.
Well,
and down. It goes
50-50.
down as well. Now you didn't
Let's just keep going up.
You didn't see the spiral staircase at the previous levels. Excuse me.
No, I suggest going on the same staircase we've been on.
Cool.
So you guys are still eating, or you've finished eating and given up on the mulled wine?
Oh no, we don't give up on wine. We still drink it.
But have you given up on heating it or whatnot? That was going to be one of the things that you were deciding to do.
Oh yeah, I asked Dodrick if he can try and light a fire before he heads off. Just a torch or anything.
I attempt to light a torch.
Yeah, you light the torch. It lights up. Gives the normal
I give
light,
it to
just like
Warlock.
normal. But you don't feel heat from it.
Cool.
Like you can put your hand right up against the flame and you don't feel the heat.
Chug doesn't believe him and puts his hands right up too. Chug still feel cold.
So Chug obviously just put his hand too close. Did he get physically burnt still, even though he didn't feel the heat?
Yeah, you feel pain.
Cool. So it's in our head, guys.
I grab the torch and I shove it against the back of one's pants.
I use control flames on the back of his pants to stop it from catching alight.
Why don't you interfere when he makes me shoot myself?
Because I can't set that on fire.
So
Alright.
you slam the torch behind one, and James does control the flame so it doesn't cause it to light. But you take it off, and there's this big burn mark across the back of his pants.
There we go. Now he permanently looks like he shit himself. All right. I backtrack and I start going up the staircase that we'd been originally going.
So, as you start to backtrack up, I get you to make a perception check, please.
All of us, or
No, just James, because he's the first one leaving.
14.
14. You leave the room, and go to hang a left and head further up the stairs. In front of you is a transparent, silvery figure, which is floating above the ground and has a twisted face of horror. It is humanoid. Can I get you to make a wisdom save, please?
Creepy.
23.
23. And I'll get you to follow that up with a charisma save, please.
18.
18. This figure being transparent, its face and such, your first reaction was to be frightened, but you sort of hold it and just stare at this figure, and it flies straight through you, and it is freezing cold as it comes through. You guys, looking at James as he leaves, you see the silvery figure fly and then head further down the stairs.
In response, I choose to cast Hold
person?
Yes. Because you're saying that it's a humanoid in figure, but probably not a humanoid in object.
So, can you read the entire spell for me?
Sure. Choose a humanoid that you can see within range. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving.
You cast the spell, but it has no effect.
Okay. I wasted a pack slot for you guys. Does it seem hostile to me after casting or attempting to cast a spell?
Make an insight check.
21.
21. No. It seemed almost as frightened as you of it, but it did not seem aggressive as it passed through you. It was more like fleeing.
Fleeing. I attempt to stop and ask what it is.
It's gone. It's head down the stairs. Are you trying to communicate with it to ask what it is?
Yeah. I'm just saying, stop. What are you?
Alright, so you scream out, stop. What are you? But it doesn't turn. Do you give chase?
Yeah. I start walking down the stairs toward where it went.
You follow it down the stairs at a decent pace. It's moving quick, and so you've got to almost sprint to sort of keep up. You guys, you've all seen Lefner just turn and bolt after this. What are you guys doing?
I'd like to come from a distance.
I'm gonna run with him.
You gonna what? Sorry.
I chase after Lefner.
Okay. Dodrick, what did you say you do?
Chase after he left that as well.
Okay.
We didn't see the thing, did we? Or was only
you saw a very faint silvery sort of figure, like very greyish, sort of smoky grey, sort of thing, just sort of flash past quite quickly. I suppose without trying to say, did I see it, what it was, you didn't get a good look at it. I can get you, if you want, you can roll a perception check to see if you see what it was. That's up to you. But otherwise, you've just seen Lefner and you're just chasing after it.
Okay. Well, while still chasing after it, I yell out the same thing. I yell out stop, but in both Celestial and Infernal, as well as Common.
Okay. So you just scream in all your languages, just seeing if you can communicate with it. As you're chasing after it, you realize that it's small, probably more Dodrick size, and if on the previous level, it hangs a right and then heads into the library, and then sort of shoots off to that. You giving chase, you get to the landing and watch it as well, and at the back corner, you see it disappear through the bookshelves.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'm thinking if it's more Dodrick size, it could very well be looming, is what you said the statue had on its language?
Roll insight. Not insight, sorry. Investigation.
Yeah, I like investigation better. 12.
12. You think that could be a possibility, but you didn't get a good look, and everything happened so fast, you would have to see again for yourself to figure that out.
Okay. Well, wait for the guys because I hear them running after me. Does it feel warmer or colder in this room now that I've seen that what appears to be, I'm going to call it ghost?
Yep. It feels colder than when you were in there previously.
Okay.
And in fact,
So
chasing after it felt like running in icy wind. It was freezing, and as it passed through you, like your bones and everything in you just sort of froze.
Okay, so this object or ghost seems to be what's killing off the chill aura. At least I'm ascertaining that. When the guys get here, I explain where the ghost has gone and suggest that maybe we investigate the bookcase to see if there's any sort of levers, hinges, or anything that indicates that it might be a hidden door.
Okay. Are you going to do that just yourself, or are you going to do that? Is everyone going to do their own check?
I'll have a look as well.
I'll assist.
I'll assist.
How about we all do
An investigation? Alright, everybody roll your own check. As you're sort of scrambling around to see what...
I got 18.
Critical miss. I'm not having luck at this today.
What'd the other two get?
15.
Dodrick?
I got 12.
12. So you just start, you're scrambling through the books, pulling them down. One sort of standing back and watching everybody. You just can't quite fit into the group as you other three are just sort of pulling stuff. James, one of the books that you grab, which is actually quite low, about waist height, you pull it and you hear a hefty click. It doesn't come out. And the bookshelf just starts to shudder and a deep rumble as it just slides very, very slowly to the left, and it reveals that same spiral staircase. What you also see is a body of a small humanoid with its face all twisted and contorted. The face is mostly missing off it.
And this is the physical body?
Physical body.
Okay. And I'm guessing that it looks very similar to the ghost.
You would be correct.
Okay. Let's light him on fire. No, that's not too. Okay. Yes, I want to check his pockets for identification. Or anything.
Identification.
Hey, we're investigating here.
Alright, roll investigation.
ID scroll.
Ooh, 9.
9. You start ruffling his pockets and having a look through. You're turning him inside out. You notice that he's wearing robes. Not sort of like trousers and such. It's just sort of these sort of tailored silky sort of robes. And as you're sort of ruffling through, the silvery figure pops out of the body right in front of your face. And can I get you to make another wisdom saving throw, please?
20, not natural.
20. And so you sort of jolt, you just taken by surprise, and the ghost sort of pops out, looks at you, and you get a good look at it, and it does appear to be sort of Nomus. His face is all melted and sliding down. He's got one eye which is open, and the rest of his face is sort of almost sealed shut. And the part of his mouth is just all warped and almost like burnt closed. His nose is mostly missing off his face. All of this is just missing. He's got the one eye. It's just staring straight at you, and it goes to move into your body. Do you resist?
Well, I back away, and I just try to communicate. Who are you?
It just keeps trying to go into your body.
Joke holds out his silver cross.
Can we see this happening?
Yes.
So everyone's visible. The ghost looks like he's trying to possess me of some sort. Yeah. Hang on. I think I'm taking too long. Alright, I don't know what to do.
I get you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Seeming like the ghost just sort of, again, passes through you and then sort of spirals around and sort of floats and looks. Chug, it now flies towards you again.
I want to cast Divine Sense. Seeing this is a undead thing.
Yes. So what does that do?
Dex good or evil.
You cast it and you detect good.
I say, hey, little fella.
And it just sort of looks at you. This one eye is wide and it just flies at you.
Can I put my hand up and wave? I don't feel threatened by him.
That's up to you. Do you feel threatened by him? He's flying at you at the moment. You've put your hand up. He's come through your hand, coming towards you.
I detected he's good, so I'm not threatened by him.
Okay. The ghost flies into you. You feel incredibly cold, and you lose all sense of control. You guys, you'll watch this ghost fly into Chug, and he just sort of stops rigid, and his eyes sort of glaze over, and they're now where Chug's pupils were. They're now silvery. Also, the pupils itself are missing, and the entire eyeball is just silvery.
I try and communicate with Chug.
Hey?
I try and communicate with Chug.
So at the moment, you see a half-orc with silvery eyes staring straight at you, bored rigid.
Well, I ask, can you hear me, Chug?
And
Can
Chug
I hear
replies, "Yes, yes, I can hear you. I'm sorry. My name is Grigor. I am the owner of this tower. I'm so sorry for the intrusion. I'm sorry for the tricks, but as you see, I have been killed." You sort of see now a tear slowly starts to form in Chug's eye and starts to go down his face. And he's just lost in the moment as he's looking upon his own body.
Okay. I cover his body, as in, put a sheet over it kind of thing. Is there anything around I can do that with?
There's a rug.
Yeah.
All right, so one's scared of rugs, so that's not happening. I asked Gregor, what happened to you?
He pauses for a second, and it's a delayed response as he's staring at his body, and you realise he's been spoken to, and he turns back to you and pulls his gaze from his own body. He says, "A dragonborn. He cut me down. He stabbed me with a blade, and I couldn't heal it." And as he sort of says that, you look over his body again, and from the front you couldn't see it, but on the side in his ribs you can see a tear in his robes where a blade wound has gone in. He says, I couldn't heal it. My magic couldn't stop the bleeding. It couldn't close the wound. I laid here dying, and he did some magic, and everything just went bright green, and I found myself looking upon my own body. I'm not sure what happened. Did you see this person? Do you know what happened?
I explain that we've met a dragonborn who was a part of this cult, and ask if there was any similarities. Was there the robes or the signet ring? Anything that he can remember.
Yes, yeah, he had a quite a large ring, and he describes the symbols on it, and they are true to the one that you described. You also describe what he looked like to him, and he confirms that sounds like him as well. As DM, I can't really remember what he what he remembered, but he confirmed that was the same one, the same color, scaly skin, the same sort of jawline and teeth, and whatever facial decorations and such that he had.
I asked if he saw any crystals, or if the man used a crystal at all when he saw the green light.
He sort of pops and takes a second, and he floats towards you in almost a very robotic way. The whole body just turns in one movement and faces you. No, he didn't use any crystals. But I work with them.
That's your end.
Could you show us? We'd like to learn. If you could help us in any way, we're working against this dragonborn, we believe. He's, done some terrible things, and we want to bring him to justice.
Yeah. What would you like to know?
Anything that you know. Essentially, from what we can tell, he's been using them to bring back the dead, or attempting to at least. We'd like to know if that's the end of what the crystal's power is, or if there's something else that they can do.
Well, it depends on the crystal, you see. Different crystals allow for different things. If I want to make a crystal which will cast a fireball, then I need to use I'm sorry, but I can't quite remember the crystal. But if I wanted to entrap a soul, then I would use. And again, you can just see that he's attempting to come up with the word for the name of the crystal, but he can't quite
Can
see
I remember the name of the crystal that was in the mine? I'm trying to. I can't remember the name of it.
I'll get you to make a history check to see if you can.
Oh God, watch this fail, guys. You ready? Fuck. 5 plus 1. Shit, 6.
6? You can't remember the exact name. If any of you guys know what they're called, off the top of your head, or you can roll your own history check to see if you can remember.
Dead Man Chris. I don't know. Hang on. I'll do a history check as well. I got a nat 1.
Am I completely...
You're out of this, Chug. You lost all control of your body. At the moment, everything's black for you.
Should I do a history?
Yes.
So I have no idea what's going on. I can't hear what's being said.
You have, as the ghost has sort of melded with you, your head is being washed through with all these different thoughts of the ghost, and everything's just completely scattered. You're seeing his death over, you're seeing his memories, his childhood. You're getting all this rush of memories, and it's really overpowering.
I got 16.
16. You remember that there's Zimbora-like crystals.
You said that 10 minutes ago.
I did. So Dodric, you communicate that to him, and he goes, yes. The one for souls. Yeah, we use those ones. You can entrap a soul, and you can use it to then empower other things. They're very much used in dark magics, opening gateways to the other realms and such. You generally need some sort of sacrifice, or a living, not sacrifice, the wrong word, but souls. They provide a unique energy to open these gateways, which is required. And the more pure the soul, the less that you require. If you were to try and suck out a deer's soul or something like that, it's just not the same as a human or a halfling, and he's looking towards you, or a half elf. Your souls, they're strong.
I asked Gregor, is there anyone else here, or do you live?
No, this is my own. I have a teleportation circle up on one of the higher floors, which I use, and I have other guests of the same, with the same interests as me. Every now and then I will entertain and we'll discuss our research and such, but we generally keep to ourselves.
And how did the Dragonborn come to be in this house?
Through the front door, I believe. I was upstairs here in my library.
Okay. So you didn't invite him. He just let himself in.
Yes, yes. They come in. They started pilfering through my library. They pulled books and such on the floor. They were asking about the crystals that you mentioned. They're asking where they could find more about them. I believe he was trying to open a portal to. Oh, he just watching. He's just sort of zones out a little bit as he tries to remember the detail and becomes increasingly frustrated with himself as he can't.
Okay.
How long ago was? Oh, how did Tasty ask? Do you know how long you've been dead for?
Yeah, no, this form is different. Time seems to go by quickly, slowly. I can't feel things. I don't get a sense of hunger. I don't need sleep. It becomes very hard to figure out how long I've been out for.
Can we ascertain that from the body?
Yeah, you can. So get you to roll a medicine check, please.
Which check?
Medicine.
17.
17. You look at the body and it looks like he's been dead for anywhere between 2 and 4 days. It's decomposing a little bit, but it's not skeletal or such. There's a bit of a smell now that you're looking at it. That's quite repugnant.
From what you know, is anyone else in the tower at the moment, or are you the only one?
There's people up in my portal room, my teleportation, my room upstairs. Yeah. There's little demons that have been scuttering around.
What do you mean, little demons? Like the rats and the crows?
Yeah. Yeah, those. They can shape change.
Would you like us to get rid of them for you? Do you know how to capture them, kill them?
Well, they're not from here. They need to be sent back to their realm. Uh, the the Dragonborn, he's opened up a portal up there. He was letting them in. There was large snakes that he let in, and he set them out into the wilderness. They were sort of made of fire. He brought through so many.
Interesting.
Is there anything you can tell? Like, can we just destroy your tower, or do we need to do something? Do you know of any way we can stop this quickly?
Uh, he just starts to pause and think. We need to close the portal. I need to make sure that my work isn't used in the wrong way. I'm worried that he will be.
Uh, he's distracted.
There's an interlude.
There was.
Quick pan.
I,
Okay. I asked Gregor. Besides closing the portal, how else can we help you?
um, I hold on. He doesn't know. Uh, I, uh, I need to make sure that my apprentice is safe. Um, his name was Liam.
Liam, hang on. Isn't that the mayor's son?
You put that together. Yes.
God damn.
Uh, he travelled up here. He worked. I suppose in secret from his relatives a little bit. He certainly didn't tell his father. Um, he was worried about his reaction, but Liam had an interest in the arcane arts, and I was teaching him just basic magic and such like. He heard that some bad people had arrived at his hometown, and he was trying to find out a little bit more of them. He took a an enchanted artifact of mine. It's quite small. It's a little red gem. It's called a gem of minute seeing. He intended to place that on someone to try and get some more information. And you just see the hand, like Chug. You feel the ghost sort of rummaging through, like you're seeing all of his memories, and you can see this little gem. And in your memories, it clicks. You've seen that gem before. It's in your pocket. You picked it up at the house on the hill, and the ghost seemingly connects with your thoughts. And you see Chug's hand dig deep and pull out the gem. And he goes, "This is it. This is it." And he sort of places it down in front of him. Liam might still have the other end.
And I very sneakily pull the red gem out of my pocket and put it in Chug's pocket, so that makes it. Yeah,
the explodey ones, weren't they?
No. I have one red gem magical to study later in my other possession.
That was it. Chug found it. Apologies. I will.
Yeah.
We'll reverse that and just say that you pass that back to Chug to hold on to it, and he's been holding
Yeah.
on to it.
That's fine. It was free text written in my possession, so as an actual item. Yeah. Okay. Where did you last see Liam?
It would be some time ago. I don't know how long. And he pauses. You feel that he's not going to know.
Okay.
I obviously tell him that, well, he's obviously viewed it, but I tell him, since it's no point hiding it, that his assistant's dead, and we found his body.
Did we?
I thought we did.
You haven't found Liam.
No.
Oh, I thought we found his body in there.
No, just his house, and he had that lockbox.
Yeah, there's been no body found. We found, so just digging into what you told us, that there's always 2 points to the red gem. One is on the target that you want to interpret information from. Is that how it works?
So the red gem,
Yeah.
the way it works is you can attune to it, and you can place the gem at a place. You can then spend an action to focus on the gem, and to be able to then see anything from that gem's perspective.
But you said Liam has the other gem?
Someone has it.
So there is one gem. So sorry, apologies, I made this a bit wrong, but it was supposed to be a little bit more fun for you guys to sort of figure out. The detail that you were given was incorrect. It is actually just one gem, and it works from it. You're holding on to it.
So we need to spend some time attuning to it, and we would see something.
Yep. So you would see something from that gem, so you can use it to place it on something. Set up a trap, or keep it on somebody's person, or whatnot.
So is it possible that Liam's been spying on us, or keeping track of us from this gem?
Yeah.
Can we communicate through this gem?
No, it only allows vision from the person who's attuned to it.
So we can communicate with this gem. We can write with the blood of this gnome on the wall saying, "Liam, come here. We need your help."
Yes.
I like that thinking. I don't enact on it.
Wait, he'd need the teleportation circle to get to us, I assume, because he's obviously had one in his room.
The way that
he used that to...
Yeah, so you're not sure what sort of happened with his room. I'll get you to make an Arcana check first.
This is a shitty day for this. 5.
Sorry. You understand that teleportation circles work. You know that you go to them. That's about as far as your knowledge goes on that behalf. You don't know how the magic sort of happens at one end or the other. You just know that you go to the circle, and the circle is a single ring on the ground, which becomes a almost like a fast travel beacon. You just turn up there.
Okay. Well, okay. I relayed to Gregor that is there a possibility that Liam could use the teleportation circle up on the top floor?
Is it possible that Liam has used it?
Or could use it to arrive here?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So are you asking Gregor that?
Yeah, and has Liam used that as his form of getting here?
Not initially. He used to take the travels up, but as he learnt more with his magic, yes, he does.
I think we need to close the portal.
Yep. Is there any way we can use this magic against the Dragonborn fella? You know of? Like, is there a way we can easily interrupt its magic to make it go bad, or?
As in corrupt or poison the crystals.
Yeah, that, or just say he's halfway through summoning something, and if we use our lovely warlock here to introduce the right shitty bit of magic, and it all explodes and rips him apart, teleports his head away. I don't know, just anything.
If you can use a demon or a fiend soul, then yes, that will pause it, or so that would poison it.
How would we go about that?
I don't know. Okay.
Sounds like we get to go up and murder.
I think so, but we kind of need our chug. Knowing that Gregor has an effect on the realm, as in he chills the area and makes people think bad thoughts, is that going to affect us no matter what? Whether he's friendly, not friendly?
So, yes.
Okay. What I asked Gregor, how would you feel if we went and closed the portal up on top? Would you be willing to help us?
Yes, I can try and help, although I can't really affect much on the material plane, but I can try.
Try and possess one of them?
Hey?
Could you try and possess someone
Yes.
if we could
Yeah,
distract them?
I can try that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go up. I suggest we go up, but we need our chug back. But if you come up as a goat and help us by immobilizing some people or some objects, that would be handy.
And he gives a nod, and you see the ghost sort of fly out the back of Chug and just sort of appears behind his head. Chug, like all those rush of memories and thoughts that you've been having for the last 15-20 minutes has just come to a complete stop, and you're now just staring at Dodric, Lefner, and Juan again, and it's a bit of a shock for you, and it takes a couple of seconds for it to for everything to sort of come into realization for you. You got bits and pieces of the conversation, but specific details you would need to be filled in, which the group I'll just narrate that the group tells you, and then you get caught up. You guys, you're all going to move upstairs now, are you?
Yeah. I asked the ghost to tell us the best way to go up, and also if he can keep an eye out for us. Like, he obviously can't talk to us right now, but I assume he can point. And if he sees or knows of something we should keep an eye out for, just point at it, make it obvious for us.
Okay. He sort of gives a bit of a nod, and he begins to drift towards the stairs and starts to head on his way up.
Okay, I follow.
Same.
Chug march.
Okay. You guys make your way up to the top floor, and as you approach towards the top of the stairs you haven't sort of picked up, you can see Gregor sort of floating and he's sort of hiding back up against the wall, sort of face just peering through, and you can just see him with his hand above his mouth, and he's pointing into the room. Can I get you all to make stealth checks, please?
Do you guys want me to ritual cast silence so we don't make any noise? Or
It's too late for that.
No, you can. You've got time to then back down and prepare if you want.
Well, I got a nat 20.
no, because then we can't cast spells out of it, so it's not worth it. So
Okay.
Nat 20.
10.
I got 11.
I just realised
Six.
Dodrick was frozen when he was yawning or whatever he's put into his face. That was hilarious. So what'd you get, Dodrick?
I got 10.
10? Chug?
6.
1?
11.
11. You all come up to the stairs. Lefter, you're doing an incredibly good job of keeping quiet, but everyone else sort of hasn't seen the warning from Gregor. And Chug and his plate mail is, chunk, 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 chunk up the stairs, and Dodrick
We're
and Lefter
shivering.
are clanging with their gear and such like that. Sorry, not Dodrick, Dodrick and Juan are clanging. You come running up the stairs, and you all burst into the room, and in front of you, you see a 10-foot tall, flaming red portal that's burning incredibly bright. Up here, there is an incredibly thick smell of smoke and sulfur. You can see two humanoids with their hands sort of pointing towards and channeling energy into the portal, and they stop and turn to you. Just as a large figure begins to emerge from the portal, and we'll end it there. We'll come right into the next session, straight into combat.
Okay. If one of my spells has a duration of concentration, does that mean my whole turn is used up to try and...
So you can
maintain
you have concentration on one spell at a time. So you have 2 spells that require concentration. You've got to choose which one you give up to maintain concentration on the other. If you also have a concentration spell, being hit with attacks or doing certain actions can cause you to make a check. I can't remember the actual concentration check that you need to make, but you have to make a check of some sort to see if you maintain concentration or lose focus. But you can cast other spells that don't require concentration while maintaining your concentration.
Okay, so if I was casting one with concentration and then the next turn I wanted to cast another thing with concentration, I'd have to cancel the first one.
Yep.
But
So where it's got its duration, so say it's 5 minutes, it lasts until you lose concentration, or 5 minutes, whichever comes first.
But I can do all my cantrips that don't have concentration while still concentrating on the other spell.
Yep.
I believe so. I believe that's correct.
Okay. All right, would be handy to know. Okay.
Cool. Oh, you climb to the top of the tower. Do you want to see the map, I suppose, before we move on?
Yeah.
So, just let me polygon reveal.
Okay, that's easy enough to do.
Sorry, it takes a long time to draw a circle, apparently.
Now I kind of wish I didn't burn that spell slot.
Chug has the spellstone. Or does it not count?
Oh, for me it doesn't, no. Because mine are packed spells, but that's okay.
Chug can hand you the dice and you can throw that.
I'll be fine. I'll just Eldritch Blast the fuck out of everything.
We might be in a position to use it if we have rain.
Well, I know the first thing I'm going to do is yell out in Infernal, obey my command.
I'll command him to to obey your command.
Reduced to it.
I'll poison him with purified food and drink.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking thing. So did you have to draw that? Or
I
was it-
found this one.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
It worked for me.
Okay.
So
So 2 humanoids, 1 figure entering or exiting the portal, I should say.
And is this portion of the tower same, 100 feet or smaller?
yeah, it's about 100 feet. Yep.
Well, I better get going. I gotta get Mrs. But I am still definitely coming down this weekend as well.
Awesome. Have you got the car?
Not yet. So I poked them on Friday asking for information because it was the Saturday was the estimated arrival to Melbourne, and they said they got confirmation that it has arrived to the dealer in Melbourne on Friday. So now they've got to truck it up here and then spend a day doing all the dealer fit. It probably won't even take a day. It'll probably take 2 hours.
Yeah.
But car dealers are pretty fucking lazy, and they haven't said, "Oh yeah, well, it's on a truck," or "We're expecting it to be up at this time." So I'm just waiting and see.
You buying a car and then driving it down, eh?
Yeah. I ordered the car at the start of Feb.
If it's anything like when Tish got a Jazz, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's on a truck. Oh no, it got delivered to the wrong place. And then we've got another one on a truck." And then a month or two later, you're like, "No, cool, I'm out." And then magically your car appears.
Yeah. Well, mine's already been a big fuck around because of Ford America. So I ordered a month, and I ordered manual V8, a specific color, and just some other custom stuff that weren't factory fit, they'll dealer fit. And then about a month after I ordered it, I got a call from the dealer saying, "Hey, so we've just received a directive from Ford America saying that they're no longer importing any more new manual Mustangs to Australia because we need to use the factory space to keep up with the demand of the automatic Mustangs for Australia. So the next time we'll be importing them will be around December." So I'm like,
"Oh,
yeah, I was like, yeah, fuck that. What options have you got? And they said, "Oh, well, we've got one in the color that you want, already in Australia, but it's got the upgraded seats, which are like 3K more, and they're the racing seats, but you lose the heating and cooling function of the seats." So I'm like, yeah, no. I'm not paying more for a car that loses functionality. No, thank you. I don't care if they're racing seats. So I said, all right, I don't give a shit about the color, but it needs to be an MY19 manual V8. Yeah. So I gave him some color preferences, and he did some searching around, and he said, "Oh, we've got this ruby red, so it's a dark maroon red that's already on a ship coming to Australia, but it's getting delivered to a dealer in Melbourne because someone in Melbourne cancelled the order." So I said, "Yep, that's fine. I'll take that one. It's got the upgraded suspension, so it was a little bit more, but that was fine." And yeah, but because it was going to this other dealer under another order, they wouldn't release the VIN number for me, so I couldn't do any of the. So now I've got to do it all by their information.
Yeah, it sucks.
So now, yeah, I'm just waiting, playing by ear. But they're just, I don't know. You'd think if they've got confirmation that it's in Melbourne, you'd find out, okay, when's it going to be on a truck, and pass that information on.
yeah, it sucks."
Yeah. But anyway, hopefully it'll be here, and then I can give it a 2,000-3,000 K drive to run it in.
Oh, you'll fuck it on our roads.
No, lucky you got the good suspension. You're gonna need it.
Oh yeah,
Low profile tires, just bang straight into the rim.
probably.
No, from Canberra, I know the fun roads. I'll give you a map of the fun way to go. It'll add about 1,000 Ks, but fuck me, it'll be fun.
What you go almost along the east coast, along the the
I
beaches.
don't know that shit. You go straight through the mountains. Oh wait, have they got snow yet? You still a month or so.
Oh, they might do.
It's been a bit of rain.
Yeah. Do you mean go over the Great Alpine Road? Go over between Omeo and Bright?
So that's later on. But if you start, I think it's Kuma, Tumut. That's kind of on the freeway. You go to Tumut, then down to, I think it's Kuma. Then you can go across to Jindabyne, up over Hotham, not Hotham, Falls Creek, and I can give you a map, and it's like we've been that way on the bikes about 3 or 4 times. There's only a few stints on the highway that are straight, and they're very few and far between.
Yeah.
And it's holy shit if you haven't got used to your car by the end of that. Yeah,
Jindabyne got snow 3 weeks. It was really cold around here, and it actually got snow on the mountain.
yeah, don't go that way. You'll die.
Apparently, Tassie had snow last week
Do they?
Oh wow.
in the centre. Work colleagues spent a week there.
Damn. All right, Iron head up, guys. Next, when are we doing the next session?
It'd be 2 weeks again. I hope.
You got Easter.
29.
I'll be driving back next Monday, so I probably won't be too keen on doing D&D.
You can do it in the car. Just put your phone on the steering wheel.
How am I going to roll dice?
In the seat next to you.
Or just use
But
roll
the
20.
missus is busy.
Yeah, I could get her to do it. But
Wait, you can fucking drive. You can play. Yeah, easy done.
All right, see you guys.
let's see, dude.
Yeah.
No worries. See you.
Yeah, darling.
Catch you, mate.